Hello, and thank you for joining me. My name is Tyler Thornton, and I am a middle and high school history teacher in Los Angeles. This presentation summarizes my final tutorial project, which focuses on guiding students in conducting academic level historical research using Gale in Context High School Database. The primary target audience for this tutorial is students in middle and high school history classrooms, especially those just beginning to work with academic databases. These students are often assigned research papers or inquiry projects but lack the digital literacy and search strategies necessary to find quality academic sources. In my role as their instructor, I noticed that many students would simply type a full sentence into Google, struggling with evaluating results, and then grow frustrated. So I designed this tutorial to bridge that gap. It provides a structured step-by-step framework to help students plan, conduct, and refine searches using academic strategies such as Boolean operators, truncation, and source filtering. Ultimately, my goal was to give students the tools and confidence they need to become self-sufficient researchers, skills they can carry into college and beyond. Let's take a closer look at the 4 primary learning objectives of this tutorial. First, students will learn how to construct effective search queries using Boolean operators like and or, as well as truncation symbols like the asterisk. These search techniques expand or narrow results and are essential for navigating academic databases efficiently. Second, students will identify and differentiate between primary and secondary sources. This is a key historical thinking skill. The tutorial walks them through how to use Gale's filters to find specific document types like court records, diaries, or journal articles, and then how to determine what qualifies as a primary source or secondary source. Third, they'll explore how socioeconomic factors contributed to the Salem witch trials, which is the topic of our case study. Rather than focusing only on dates and names, students will practice asking analytical questions about wealth, class, gender, and motive, digging deeper into historical causation. And finally, they'll practice refining searches using Gale's limiters for content level, document type, and date range. This teaches them how to control the information they retrieve instead of being overwhelmed by irrelevant sources. These objectives work together to promote information literacy, critical thinking, and historical interpretation, all of which are foundational skills for student researchers. To implement the tutorial, I designed a multi-step instructional sequence that includes pre-assessment, guided practice, independent research, and post-assessment. We begin with a Google form pre-assessment that gauges student understanding of search strategies and historical research terms. This gives me a baseline for instruction. Next, I conduct a live demonstration of how to use Gale in Context. I show students how to build complex search strings using a concept table, Boolean logic, and truncation. Then, students work in pairs to practice. They construct one Boolean search string and identify 3 documents, tagging each as either primary or secondary. After that, students begin independent research. They are required to find 1 primary source, 1 academic article, and 1 visual or artifact. All sources are logged in a research log and annotated with a short explanation of how each source contributes to their investigation. I'll then use a standards-based rubric to assess search strategy, the accuracy of source type identification, and the depth of their historical analysis. Finally, students complete a post-assessment quiz and submit a reflection explaining how their understanding evolved. This allows me to track progress and adjust future instruction for students who need support or extension. A big part of the tutorial focuses on modeling how to conduct a well-planned search. This starts with breaking down a research question into its key concepts. For this case study, the question is, how did socioeconomic factors influence who was accused in the Salem witch trials? From this, we can generate a concept table with interchangeable terms like Salem witch trials, accused women, property ownership. We can then connect these using Boolean operators. The and will narrow our search, while the operator of or broadens it. We also apply truncation. For example, typing which followed by an asterisk. This finds the terms which witches, witchcraft, and witchery. Students also learn to apply limiters in the advanced search interface, filtering by content type, document type, or publication date. This allows them to surface only the most relevant academic or primary and secondary sources. These strategies are practiced repeatedly throughout the tutorial, ensuring that students leave with real-world research skills. In closing, this tutorial helps students shift from passive consumers of information to intentional researchers. They begin by identifying keywords and constructing search strings. They learn to evaluate the results and refine their strategies. Through this process, they become more confident and capable with digital databases, skills that translate directly to college papers, college research, and even further into real-world information evaluation. The Salem Witch Trials case study allows students to connect historical events to themes of power, wealth, and gender, encouraging them to think critically about causes and consequences. Most importantly, students learn that research is iterative. It's okay if your first search doesn't yield perfect results. The goal is to keep adjusting your terms, using the tools available, and thinking analytically. As a teacher, it was incredibly rewarding to design this tutorial because it supports both academic rigor and student independence. It aligns with curriculum goals while giving students ownership of their own learning. Thank you for listening, and I hope this tutorial inspires more confident, curious historians in the classroom.